on, everyone? James My Numbers here, and welcome back to another episode of the Political Freedom Fighters podcast. In this episode, I have with you all here today an unaffiliated candidate running for Vance County Board of Commissioners District 3. With that being said, I want to introduce to all of you CJ Turrentine. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing well, James. Glad to be on with you.
Yeah, no problem. The first question I'd like to ask you is, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Charles Turrentine Jr. Um, a long live a resident of Vance County. Um, Born and raised here, graduated here from Northern Vance High School, class of 2001. Go Vikings. Um, Went into the military. I did 12 years. Army, infantry. I went to Iraq, uh, 03, 05. Came back home after I got out of the military and retired, and wanted to continue my public service and find meaningful ways that I could help out my community and promote wellness and healthier lifestyles for our citizens.
That is actually awesome. How was the military?
Hey, military was cool. It was going in. It was I was fresh out of high school. Um, Man, I graduated on like June 10th or something like that. And 2 weeks later, I was going to Fort Benning, Georgia, infantry school for 4 months. So it was challenging. Um, it made me grow up real fast. Um, so I take it now, looking back at it in hindsight, I'm looking at it as it was a blessing for me. I get a chance to travel the world, see different people, see different cultures, see different lifestyles, see how things happen outside of Vance County, outside of Henderson, outside of North Carolina. So they gave me a different perspective on life. Made me very appreciative of life as well, and appreciative of the United States of America.
That's pretty awesome to hear. So I guess my next question is, let's talk about your history.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Let's talk about your history.
Okay, what's up? Talk to me.
Like, tell us a little bit about your either your personal or political history, or both, if you feel like it.
Okay, well, growing up in Vance County, I've had opportunities to see how people have got left behind. Not some intentionally, some unintentionally. Grew up in church. My mom and dad were spiritual people. My dad's a pastor at a local church in town. So I always had that Christian background and raised up with respect and morals. So growing up in Vance County, we weren't rich, um, but I understood as time went on how people moved around, and I seen you had a certain group of people that was always in the know and were kind of making things happen. So, like again, when I came back home after my military career, I was a public servant then. So I feel like if I can go to Iraq and fight for my country, I sure as hell can fight for Vance County and fight for my people in Henderson. Um, I'm not a politician in no ways. I just feel like if there's a need or there's an opportunity that I can better serve my community and be a voice for people, that's what I want to do. And that's what I always would do, would come in with always with pure intentions. Um, since I've came back home from Iraq in '05, I've been active in my community. Um, Going back to probably 2008, I was a youth minister, well, youth leader at the church. So me and my wife, we kind of, helped the kids that were in the community in the church. We had at that time, we probably had maybe 10 teenagers, um, maybe about 15 elementary kids. There was a lot of youth in the church. So we kind of tried to do all we can to kind of mold them to see a better side of life. Um, I've always had a heart and a do to help kids in our community that didn't have much or didn't have as much as may have had or that their neighbor may have had. So in 2008, you know what I'm saying, being at the church, we put on a back to school bash for the community, and we had at the fairground, and you know what I'm saying, we had over 3,000 people there, and we just, you know what I'm saying, gave the kids in the community a good time with a gospel artist, Ty Tribbett. He was there. From that, I was the hit at the still functioning in the church, helping out with the kids. I went on. I was the director of the homeless shelter in town for the men's homeless shelter. I did that for about 5 years. Still helping out with the citizens. You know what I mean? Less fortunate, the ones that don't have a voice, that need a voice. I've been active on the crime. I was on the board for the Crime Stoppers in town. Um, Even volunteering with the schools with the kids, active in my kids' education, active in their school life, volunteering in the morning, reading books to the classroom for the kids, things of that nature. Um, and then it just kept on progressing. I mean, as you know what I'm saying, I saw a need, I went head full force and tried to meet that objective, just like in the military. You know what I'm saying? You see a mission, you get a order to do it, you just go and tackle it the best way you can. And that's been my way ever since. Fast forward into now, um, in 2024, the park that's in my neighborhood I grew up at, Chestnut Street Park, has been there since the 1970s, and it kind of got in much need of tender loving care, and it was in despair. And me and some of the another guy, Joshua Jones, that was working at the Henderson Vans Rec Department, he came to me. He was like, "Man, how about we just come up and spruce this court up?" And as you know, is if in our community, if our people see better, they'll do better. Um, a lot of people don't do better because they never have seen better, or never, you know what I'm saying, interacted with or thought that they could have better. Um, Hold on one second. Hey, Lance, close that door. Close the door. Um, that glare is on my face. Um, so with that, in 2024, I started the Chestnut Street Beautification Project, and with that project, we ran for over a year. I raised $100,000, and with that $100,000, we gave that back to the Recreation and Parks Department, and then we started the revitalization of that basketball court in the park.
Wow, that is awesome. Do you guys have like a website for that organization or?
Yeah, the website is on. We did have a landing page at the time. So right now that since we've completed phase one, so we're in the process now of actually doing a whole website, the Chestnut Street Park website. We do have a Facebook page for that, the Chestnut Street Park um, project. It's on Facebook. But as far as the website, we're trying to form all that up now because it still is a city park. So if you go to the city's website, you will see the Chestnut Street Park um, donation tab
That's
for the, you
awesome.
know what I'm saying? Because we're still raising funds for phase two.
Yeah, that's awesome. Definitely send me a link to the Facebook on this after the interview, so that way that I can so that way I can link it in the description of this video so people can check it out.
Okay, for sure.
So, anyways, why are you running?
And even along say that
Oh,
again.
go ahead. Go ahead.
And I was like, so with the Chestnut Street Park beautification project, that gained a lot of attraction, a lot of attention. And from that, I kept on volunteering in the community, doing things. People started noticing it more. So when the county commissioners that was in my district three, he resigned to take on another role. I actually applied back last year because it was an empty spot. So they had the council people had to elect somebody. So initially I applied then to have that seat before the election, just to finish out his term. But I went through the process. I think it was like 4 candidates. I didn't get elected or selected. So now I'm running as the independent candidate because back at that time I was independent, but I had to switch to Democrat just to be considered because the commissioner that was in that seat then was a Democrat, so he had to be replaced by a Democrat. So once I didn't get selected, I transferred back to independent, and then I had to go through the whole process of being eligible to be on the ballot for November
All right.
as an independent candidate.
Yeah, I understand. And it does say you are running as an unaffiliated, so that's pretty good. And speaking of the
Right.
Democratic Party, what's your thoughts on the Democratic Party?
Um. Well, I can only speak for the Democratic Party in Vance County because I know I've been in dealings with them. As the Democratic Party as a whole, I'm skeptical of them because in my in my time of living, I've always seen the Democratic Party as being reactive and not being proactive. They're always reacting to what happened or reacting to what somebody says, or always not being a go getter because the Democrats always seemed like they was less than or they always were needing, they were always begging, always fighting for something instead of just being more emboldened to go out and do. And I think that was one of my things that it kind of turned me off about the Democratic Party. They wasn't proactive enough for me, or not like more spearheading, like a go getter. And I know that, so I know I'm different from that. So I can't side with that.
That is understandable. I guess next up is what's your thoughts on the Republican Party?
Um, the Republican Party, on the other hand, to me, they're always ahead of the Democratic Party. So they're always telling the Democratic Party what they should be doing, what they can't do. So in that, I feel to the point where both parties have some good, but both of them have a lot bad. So right now, I feel that the Republican Party has lost their voice because they've. It's me talking. I feel like they've let this one present administration just go no holds barred and with no pretty much no checks and balances.
Alrighty, fair enough. So, what is the Vance County Board of Commissioners?
The Vance County Board of Commissioners are set up with people that supposed to be for the best interest to guide Vance County to better prosperity and better lifestyles for our citizens. And out of those elected people, they should be the voice of their constituents in their each 7 districts that make up Vance County. And through my time of being in Vance County, I haven't seen a commissioner that's actually been in the community and been visible enough to the people know who their commissioners are, or can call hey, look, I need this. Can you help out with this at the commission? You know what I'm saying? Have a open door policy where they can actually feel like they're being heard. Because in my time of going out and gathering signatures to be considered in the general election on November the 4th, I would ask people in my own district, like, do y'all know who y'all the county commissioner are now? Well, we don't know. I don't know. I thought we had a city. A lot of people thought they had a city council person, and they stay in the county. I mean, so a lot of that to me was kind of like, okay, people don't know because they probably are not visible people. And I mean, in Henderson, I hear a lot. They only knew probably 1 or 2 names of commissioners because they were always the ones that were more outspoken, and they just thought those 2 were the only one that was really running the whole show, which shouldn't be the case.
Damn, that's insane. So, let's talk about your competition. Who else is running in this race?
So I'm running for District 3, and right now it's 4 candidates. One, Miss Commissioner Cherie Fain, she was selected last year to fill the remaining time for Sean Austin that resigned. So she's gonna be running again. She's gonna be running as a Democratic candidate. Um, Angie Ryan is running as a Republican candidate. Gordon Wilder also, he's already been the commissioner, which he lost to Sean Austin. He's running again also as an unaffiliated candidate as well. And then myself.
Wow, that's awesome. Do you happen to have contact with Sean Wilder?
It's Gordon Wilder and Sean Austin.
Oh, sorry. Do you have contact with Gordon Wilder?
Um, I see him in town. I've spoken to him. I mean, we've been in rooms together. We've been in meetings together. Um, he was more apt to speak until he found out that I was in the race with him.
Well, the next time you see Gordon Wilder, tell him I want to have him on my podcast as well, since he is an unaffiliated.
I mean, yeah, I can definitely relay the message to him or get the message to him. That's no problem.
That is awesome. So, with that being said, let's actually go over your platform. So, what is your platform?
My platform now is mainly is 3 things: to strengthen our youth in our community by strengthening the families of those youth, and whether that be through literacy, um, wellness, like mental health wellness, and personal health. Also, we want to support our veterans in Henderson and in Vance County because I realize our veterans are kind of unseen and unheard. And thirdly, I want to be the biggest cheerleader I can be for Vance County to promote economic growth, um, that will in turn help all of our citizens grow out of this tier 1 county state that we're in as being a poverty-stricken area, rural area.
Alrighty then. I guess let's talk about economic growth first. How do you plan on growing the economy of Vance County?
As like I said earlier, by being the biggest cheerleader I can. So whether I go to any city where I go to, anywhere, any room I'm in, I want people to know, hey, I'm CJ. I'm from Vance County. Get to know them, and how can you, how can we help Vance County help you bring your business in and help grow your business? Hey, look, we're here in Vance County. We need all the help we can get. Consider coming to Vance County, right there, 85 or US 1. Stop to think about we have, because we do have a lot of undeveloped land and undeveloped territory that it's time for growth, because we can't. I feel as a commissioner, we can only do so much with the people that we have. So we need more people to help. So it'll take the burden off of the ones that we already have that are in the system now that's already, because the taxes and all that's a hot topic. The tax rate, all that has increased, which was necessary. But yet it's almost like you can't really keep getting blood from a turnip when you have outsiders that may not even know about Vance County. We need to get the word out to those people that maybe want to expand their businesses or develop a new business. Hey, consider Vance County. We have one of the biggest man-made lakes on the East Coast, which is called Lake. And that's a unkept secret, a well-kept secret, and that we need to exploit that natural resource as much as we can. Well, man-made resource.
That's great to hear. I guess next up, let's talk about veteran support.
Um, Veteran support is big because as being a veteran in Henderson, we're tucked away in our own little group. And a lot of the veterans in the town are old, we're older, and they've been overlooked so long that they've got to a point where they rather not even tell anybody, oh yeah, I'm a veteran, unless you have to go in and ask. And but we don't right now we don't have anything, any kind of resource programs centered just for veterans. And I want to be able to bring those resources that I've had a chance to meet up with or gain knowledge from whether it be from Durham, the Durham VA. They have a wonderful program through the Rec Therapy Group that has been instrumental in my life to help grow me to get to be a better person. It actually to be had this opportunity to be on this platform with you now because of through the help that I've had through whether it be through the mental health piece with the psychologist or even through the returning back through the OIF, the veterans group that I've been had a pleasure of being a part of. I want to bring those resources that I do know to help our community now. That so those veterans that have been suffering so long was to get have a voice and be better citizens.
Alrighty, that fair enough. Your third. Let's talk about your third pillar: strengthen youths and families through literacy, wellness, and personal health.
We right now we have to strengthen our families because we want to look at the kids as they're being the next generation or the upcoming generation. And one thing that I realized in Vance County is the issue of education. If if we can get the kids to see themselves as being better and actually believe that they'll be better, that's one thing. But then when they go back home to that same environment, they don't always get that support that great teacher they see every day for 8 hours may be pumping into them all they can. But when you go back to that same environment, it's kind of like it's draining all that opportunity and that hope that you had. It could be draining out of you. So I feel as if we can get the parents that have a stake in this as those kids, then we kind of changing the narrative of that environment now because as the kids are getting poured into, we can also help those parents. They could be on that same wavelength and be like, okay, just like you're getting help, I'm getting help too. So now we're collectively getting better together because and I've learned just through helping out at the local library in town, doing read-ins that we Pathways to Peace partners with the public library on the last Wednesday of each month, and we focus on reading because the literacy in our area right now is low, and a lot of times parents they can't offer it if they don't know or if they don't have it if they're not equipped with the same tools. So our library is a great resource that can be obtainable to anybody, but you got to get through that barrier of pride and just people not knowing. So I want to be able to be that voice to people and make it cool, make it comfortable, so people can come in with no shame, a judgment-free zone, just to help you out. Is nobody's looking at you, pointing the finger, laughing at. It's all for help, all for growth, because we realize the bigger, the more we can support our families and youth to make them feel better, then people start thinking better.
That is pretty good to hear, and I'm glad you mentioned literacy. And I don't think it's just happening in Vance County; it's happening across the country. Well, we've been hearing reports
You're right.
about literacy rates going down, and it's tough, especially with what's going on with the education system and all the videos of people. And there are even some people talking about how Gen Alpha can't read or whatever. It's insane.
Yeah, and one thing I'll say that we can't just keep throwing stuff at the teachers, and because teachers are not superheroes, they are human just like everybody else. So we have to at home. The kids come from home, so we have to interact with them and start at home so we can help the teachers out and lighten their load because the teacher's only there for 8 hours. The teacher can't be doing that whole 8 hours. The parent, the disciplinary, the instructor. You know what I'm saying? Come on, we got to help each other. It takes a village. We got to bring back that whole mindset of taking a village. People, we have been so tucked away in our own little bubbles, worrying about what our own thing is, that we overlook the bigger picture, which is our village.
Absolutely. So, I guess tell me a little bit more about Vance County. What's it like?
Um, Vance County is a special place. Um, Rural, a lot of country farmland, make up about 40,000 people. Um, you got what, maybe a little under 15,000 that stay in the city limits, and then the rest are in the county. It's a nice stretch of land. Like I said, we have the largest lake, man-made lake on the East Coast, which is called Lake. Um, Nice recreation area. We got Southway Point. You got all these different points off of the lake that can be a nice rural recreation attraction that will bring people here. Because once you come by and see the lake, people drive from all over just to come to Car Lake. It's a nice place. We do have a lot of rural agriculture farming. Farming is a big thing around. Um, the people are here are good people. Um, Back in the, I was doing research when we were, like I was talking about the Chestnut Street Park, and I found out back in the 1950s and 60s, Vance County was bringing in profiting of over $1 million a month off of tobacco. So at that time, Vance County was the place to be. It was like the hood. It was popping. Because we right now we 85, it runs through Vance County and US 1. So if you're coming from New York going to Florida, we'll be the halfway point in between. And then you can go all the way from um, the Raleigh side. You coming to going to Virginia, you're gonna come through Vance County. Um, the people here are nice and they are loving people. We often hear we a bad rap. Well, you don't go through Vance County, go through Henderson. People are there. You got crime everywhere. So I dare not harp on that because that's all people harp on when they say about Henderson. But I beg to differ. If you don't preach or see your town for better than what it is and preach the good stuff about it, you can't expect nobody else to do it if you're not doing it. So anywhere I go, I'm the biggest cheerleader I can be for Vance County, and I want to continue that same love and that same passion as the county commissioner for District 3. I'm not coming in with any kind of hidden agendas, any kind of intentions on going higher or anything. I just want to do what I can do to help my county. And this is one thing that if the citizens in my District 3 allow me and they'll vote for me, I will do my best and all I can to serve them and be with integrity and with pure intentions to help everybody.
That's awesome. I guess my next question for you is you mentioned that you were in Iraq for a little bit. What was that like?
Iraq was different. Iraq was different. Um, at the time when I went to Iraq, I wasn't even able to even drink alcohol. Yeah, but I was in a war zone. um, it was different. It made me grow up real fast. It made me trust a lot of people. It made me understand that in this world you need somebody else that you can lean on. Because it was no way I could make it back home just being selfish and just being to myself. I needed my battle buddy in the front and in the back. You always need somebody watching your six. And I want to bring all of that, those life lessons that I learned in Iraq, the bond, the brotherhood, the public service. I want to bring all that, and continue to do that for Vance County. Iraq, well, I'm telling you, like it was just an experience. It was definitely an experience.
Fair enough. Do you still are you still in contact with your
Man,
buddies?
oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, they are life brothers. They are lifelong brothers. Um, oh yeah. Matter of fact, I just talked to my first sergeant day before yesterday from Iraq. Um, they'll always be brothers because we had a bond that we were there together for over a year together, and you know what I'm saying, fighting for freedom. You know, so and since we were talking about that, my hat goes off to everybody that's in right there in combat now, man. I wish them all the best. Um, Lead the way. because I think society right now, war is different, man. Like we know we see it on media and you see it on news and you hear different opinion pieces about it, but war is different. Um, it's different.
So I guess my
I mean, I signed up for it, but matter of fact, when the attack in 9/11 happened, I was on the gun range qualifying with my M16 in Fort Benning, Georgia, at that time. And then when the alarms went off, we was on lockdown, and that's when I think what 2 days later they told us, look, we're under attack. Everybody's finna go to war. So everything switched. It was a different time.
Yeah, I find it interesting how you mentioned 9/11 because I was actually born on 9/11 around 11:45 a.m. Eastern Time.
Wow, wow.
So, yeah, just in case anybody is wondering when my birthday is, it's September 11, 2001.
September 11th, 2001.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was really interesting too. When I was like 10 years old, there was like right before my 10th birthday, there's like somebody
Mm-hmm.
who wanted to like take a photo of me in order to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of 9/11. It was me and three other kids individually who like took a photo, just took like one photo, took a photo, and
Okay.
then we were being reported on like the local newspaper. And it wasn't until Monday where my third grade teacher actually told me about me being on the newspaper, and she gave me like a newspaper about it. I was in the
Okay.
fifth
The
grade,
clipping of it.
so that was insane.
So all three of y'all were born on September 11th?
All four of us, yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
But yeah, I guess my next question is, where do you fall on the spectrum? Since you are an unaffiliated, I'm just kind of curious.
I, I look at it as you're not tied to any particular party. Because even now, like you get people in Vance County, like, hey man, we sure could use you with our party. And so my response to that is, well, how about you just get with me and help support the mission that I'm doing, and don't tie me to a party. If you believe the movement that's taking place with me, don't look at it as being an unaffiliated candidate or having to be a Republican candidate or a Democrat. Just go with doing the good work and doing the right work, because a lot of times the work gets overlooked because you're looking at who's doing the work versus just doing the work. It'd be different if this work was done by a person with an R behind his name or a D behind his name. When all the actuality is, so how about we just get the people that's in office just to do the work? And I think that was another thing that kind of made me shy away from picking a party in town, because once you pick a party, then it's almost like you're tied to that party, and they're gonna try to manipulate you and tell you or sway you to act a certain way. When we raise kids, or I know I raised my kids to be independent thinkers. Think for yourself. Be a leader, not a follower. So if we're encouraging them to do that, so why has it be a mandate that I have to pick a party when both parties have some good ideas and a lot of them have some bad ideas? We all want um, safe neighborhoods. We all want comfortable lifestyles, and we all want good health. I don't see Democrat or Republican arguing against that. So how can it get so misconstrued when we put a D or R on it? Then we got a bicker and fight over when it's just so easy just to do the right thing for the people.
Fair enough. Would you be open to getting some endorsements by some third parties?
Getting some endorsement by some third parties,
Yeah,
meaning meaning
meaning third parties that are closely aligned with what you stand for.
and I've been contacted by some people, but I give anybody the benefit of the doubt, and I'm willing to listen to anybody, but I'm very skeptical just throwing myself behind somebody when they just coming up, because I realize this political game can get kind of weird because people just pop up out the blue. Like, hey, I noticed you. I want to, and then down the road it might be a catch to it.
Ah,
So I mean, I'm willing to listen. Yes,
so you're willing to listen, but you're just trying to be careful because you don't want to get caught in like some sort of snare trap.
exactly,
All right,
exactly.
I
We
understand.
see that every day how people can get
Oh, go ahead.
tangled up in the webs that they woven.
Fair enough. So, with that being the case, what would be the qualifications for you to be willing to for you to be willing to talk to to a third party? What would be your like bare minimum to to want an endorsement from a third party?
I mean, like here's the thing. I'm willing to talk to anybody, and as long as you have good intentions and your intentions are pure, I'm all for that because I want to do the right thing, and I won't sway for that. It's either right or wrong, and if we're not doing anything that's going to benefit everybody as a whole, then I have issues with that. But I mean, sure, like I'm willing to talk to anybody. Like even when you contacted me, I was weary. Then I went and looked you up on YouTube, and then I reached back out to you. And that's I feel like we should do our homework with anybody because throughout this process of me throwing my name in the hat for the run for commissioner, a lot of people that I thought had my best interest are turning out that they don't. So I don't want to continue to go down that path when I can just stop it before I even get that close.
Fair enough. So, I guess we'll stop talking about the third party stuff for now. So, what's the campaign doing right now?
I'm continuing to do the work, just showing up at different events and seeing how I can bring about a positive impact into my community. That won't change, whether it be from me being on the board with the Salvation Army or whether it be at the on the committee for the CAC. I'm the chairperson of the CAC committee, which is the Community Wide Advisory Council. So we actually take on any kind of issues that any kind of citizen may have, city whether it be city or county. We bring it to the committee, and then we disperse that issue to whatever department that in the city that can and react to or that be in their lane. I will continue to do that work. I will continue to be a public servant. I will continue to be um, a partner with the public library to continue to make proficient students in our community. Our young adults need all the attention they can get, all the support they can get, and I will continue to do that every day, whether I get the county commissioner or not. Um, but I realize if I were to able to be selected as a or elected as a county commissioner, I know that what I can bring to the table as the context or the resources that I do have, I'll be willing to share those so everybody in Vance County can benefit off of those, and not just for a select few.
Alrighty, fair enough. I guess what's the biggest issue that you have heard so far throughout the entire campaign?
I think the biggest issue was I had yeah, I heard a lot that you had to pick a side. No independent candidate will win an election. So when I had to gather 200 signatures. I actually went out daily and whether knocked on doors, seeing people in the grocery store, actually went to different churches and asked people for their support. And look, I just wanted to have a chance to give somebody else another option on election day that may not want to pick a side. Hey, you know what? We ain't gonna pick a side. Or I think I looked at one of your interviews, previous interviews. You had a guy that said, well, he didn't want to go and get a consulting company to go and get him the signatures. He'd rather just go and do it himself. I never even thought about getting anybody else to get signatures because I felt like that was my way of campaigning by going and knocking on your door, introducing myself, giving you a push card of what my platform was. You putting a face to a name. So when you come November and you see that name, Charles Turrentine Jr., unaffiliated candidate for District 3, you'll know, or you can remember the interaction they had with me. What? So to be honest, James, I really haven't had any bad experiences or any kind of challenges so far.
I am so glad you mentioned about the people talking about how, oh, people need to like pick a side. It's like so annoying and so degrading because
Yeah, it is.
because
It
when
is.
it comes to like people saying, oh, you need to pick a side, you need to pick this side, or you need to pick this time. Every time I hear somebody say that, all I hear is you must compromise your values, you must compromise your principles to participate in some sort of group that you don't even or that you don't even align with or fully agree with, or even support or
Right.
to support ideas that you don't even support yourself. And I've heard this from left and right, and it really sucks.
Yeah, you're right. And it's challenging because for a long time I didn't even just not knowing. I grew up and I knew that my parents were Democrats, and I just thought that was the way to do. And a lot of people just go with it until I started actually getting involved. Being in the military for 12 years, I've always been bipartisan anyway. Like I'm in the army. It's not that oh, commander in chief is commander in chief. The rules of engagement are set out, and you got to follow those rules, no matter who's in charge. So I've learned at an early age that you got to only control what you can control, and the one thing I can't control is my vote. So, and I tell people even in who I come in contact with, no one should just be voting a straight ticket because when you vote a straight ticket, some people win by default, and those very ones that win by default could be the very ones that be most detrimental to the growth or the whole of a community. You should be able to go by which one that you want for each thing yourself and do your research and see how they align with what your beliefs are.
Alrighty. What's my next question for you? Um, oh yeah, you mentioned that you were in like Georgia for your training. How was that?
Fort Benning, Georgia. It was hot, and I think it's called the Sand Hills of Georgia. They have fire ants down there in Georgia. Oh my God, those jokers are probably the size of a penny almost, and they hurt because they swarm you when they come and bite. They swarm. But it was challenging. I was down in Fort Benning, Georgia for 4 months back in 2001.
Damn, that must have been rough.
Oh yeah, but I mean, as infantrymen, you have to. They give you the hardest scenarios in real time, so that when you'll be prepared. Whenever war happens or any kind of conflict happens, foreign or domestic.
Absolutely. So, I think you talked a little bit about what you did after the military. So, I guess tell me a little more about that.
So after the military, I was came home and I sold cars. I sold cars. I was in sales at a Ford store in town. I did that for 9 years. Um, and while I was doing that, then I got on, started volunteering in town. Crime Stoppers board. I was on that. Um, I helped out with the United Way some. I helped out with the Boys and Girls Club. Um, I helped out with the soup kitchen at the church. Um, Clothes giveaways. I mean, it was just a lot of stuff that I just did just to help out my community. Um, Nothing, you know what I'm saying? No monetary gain, nothing like that. It was just to be doing the good thing, giving out good energy to reap good energy.
That is
Good things happen to
awesome.
good people, James.
Absolutely, that is awesome. So you mentioned you're a part of Crime Stoppers. So tell us about that.
So when the time when I was on the Crime Stoppers board, you get tips like when the police need help solving crimes, you call that anonymous 1-800 number. And so, as being a member of the Crime Stoppers board, we get those tips in, and based on those tips, once we get the report from the whether it be the sheriff's office or the police department, and they tell us based on this tip called was able the reason that we were able to capture this suspect or something like that, then we decide to give the reward money to, you know what I'm saying, to the person that called in. It was um it was it was cool. It was cool. I mean, I think I did it for what, 3 years. It was cool. Um, a lot of I think the board makeup was kind of a little um wasn't probably the best because it was a lot of older people, and those older people at the time they really couldn't envision the community more than just what they knew. So that's why I kind of stepped away. But I've been in talks with them, and maybe we can circle back around and see if I can get back in Paul with them, just to maybe. But I think if we can get intervention and prevention pieces in, that way we don't have to worry about the Crime Stoppers anymore. Because if the crime goes down, we don't need Crime Stoppers, right?
Right.
And that's another piece that I want to bring back as a part of my platform. Bring back community watch meetings to the districts or to the county, to the city. That way we can get back to that village type mindset, because we can get people out of their own bubbles again, like we talked about, and get people to start talking to each other, having interacting with one another. Hey, man, it's a good day. Sit on the porch together. And then if you see something in your community, let's talk about it. Hey, yeah, I seen this one car that was riding, flying through the community. And then somebody say, oh yeah, I did see that car too. And then people be more vigilant. A lot of stuff won't happen if people were more vigilant.
Absolutely. You also mentioned United Way as well. So tell me more about that.
Um, well, United Way, they've been big in the community because they're always here to help. I mean, and their main goal is just to help out the youth in the community, or any kind of organization that needs some kind of support, and it's geared around you. Um, they've been around. They're good people. I was able to you part of it. I was able to get the 2024 Visionary Award. I think it's the Sam Watkins Visionary Award. I was a winner of that because of the work that I did with the Chestnut Street Park project and raising $100,000.
That's awesome. You also mentioned that you also were in like a soup kitchen. So how does the soup kitchen work?
Well, it's called a soup kitchen, but it's actually like it. at my local church, we did it every second and fourth Tuesdays, where we would come in and cook a meal, a home cooked meal, and then we'd open the doors of the fellowship hall, and people can just walk in from between 10 to 1, and they come in, whether it might be hot outside, get off, get some air conditioning, get a good meal, warm meal, and while they're eating, they once they finish eating, they can go and browse through the clothes that we have out, and they give them a bag and they pick up the clothes and items, things like that. And we did that every second and fourth Tuesdays.
That is awesome. So, I guess since we still got some time left, let's go. Let's talk a little bit more about your organization.
Okay.
Like,
What you talking about? Pathways to peace?
um, I was going to say the Chesner thing, but I would love to learn more, hear more about Pathways to Peace as well.
Pathways to peace is we are the community's violence intervention and prevention team, where we come up with practical ways to bring the community together and share with them a just practical ways of what are you doing in your life where you feel like violence may be overtaking your area or whatever, and then we talk about that, and then we come up with ways that we can deter them from that violence they may see in their life or their community, or they may come in contact with. And if they've been already in the violence as far as the prevention part, we make sure they don't have reoccurring or what they call repeat offenders. So we give them, hey, look, this may be causing you to do this, but we gonna give them another option or another way of thinking, and that's what we do. And we start with the third grade when we go all the way through high school, and we try to reach young adults as well.
That's pretty awesome. So, let's go back to your Chesner the Chesners forgot what it was called,
Chestnut Street Park,
yeah, the Chestnut Street Park beautification project. Why did you want to like start this?
because it was a community park that actually gets a lot of use because it's a basketball court and it's right off like 4 blocks from downtown. And the park was in this, it was in bad shape. The court was all cracked up, the fences were torn down, the playground wasn't there anymore. It was like an eyesore basically. So I knew that the park is a bipartisan issue. Everybody wants to help the kids and give the kids something to do outside, make them get out of these in front of those screens and actually be outside, get some fresh air, get some vitamin D with the sun, and just run off some energy and enjoy it, and even play basketball and actually learn. So that's why we took on that mission, and we were successful to knock out phase 1, and we're moving to phase 2.
And what is phase two?
Phase 2 is the bringing in the infrastructure because right now the park doesn't have any kind of water or power. So we're going to bring in water and power. We're going to put a 80 by 120 cover over the basketball court itself to block it from the sun, so it can still be like a cooling area. And we're going to turn that park into a multi-use facility with that park, and along with the cover under there. That way, now we can hold events out there at the park, health screenings at the park, because we have power, we have water, and we have shade, and it now could be one stop, and we can be open to the public because it's a public park, the city-owned park. We will have it now. We brought the playground back, so now it can be a spot now for the whole family, not just for people that's going to play basketball. And the community is appreciative of it, and they're looking forward to the next phase.
That is awesome. I gotta ask, how much money has been thrown into this project so far?
Um, roughly about 200,000.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah, and then for phase two, we were looking at about another 700,000.
All right. I am most certainly going to be linking your organization in the description below once we get this
Okay.
interview done. So this is going so hopefully you'll be able to get there.
Yeah. Hey, look, we will.
Anyways,
That's
my next question. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, that's the mission to actually to get there. So it'll be a revitalized park and a safe place. Will continue to be a safe place for our community. And the park is also ADA approved. So we will, like, if you come up with a wheelchair, we have wheelchair accessible also all the way around the park.
Wow, I actually like that. That's pretty cool. So,
And
anyways,
I'll make sure to see that the exact name so you can look it up on Facebook.
all right, I actually appreciate it. So, let's talk about your social media. Do you have any social media?
Oh yeah, Charles Turrentine Jr. on Facebook, and then on Instagram is my initial CTJR.
CTJR. Yeah, definitely send me the links to your social media once the interview is done.
I got you.
And since we got some time, since we do have a little bit of time left, I guess I can ask you a couple of personal questions. Like, what's your favorite
Uh-oh.
movie?
Uh, what's my favorite movie? Wow, I have a few of them. Um, We Were Soldiers. That's one of my favorite movies. Um, what's the movie with Cuba Gooding Jr. When he was a Navy diver? Uh, uh, Honor, Men of Honor.
I see Men of Honor.
Yeah, Men of Honor. Um, Another one. Django. Django is a good movie. American Gangster. Hateful Eight. I love to laugh. Um, there's some nice ones out there. What about you?
I don't really have much of a favorite movie right now. I'm usually down for whatever.
Okay.
And okay, I guess my next question for you is, what's your favorite food?
My my favorite food. Mm, I love a good steak, a medium steak.
That
So
is
I mean,
awesome.
well, my favorite food might have been some years ago, but your taste buds change like every 7 years or something like that. So I think now I'm right steak, a medium steak, and a good brisket. If you got some good brisket, you got me. And oysters, of course.
Alrighty. I guess my second to last question would be, what if someone is to visit like Vance County, where would you recommend they visit first?
Vance County. Definitely go see Car Lake. Go check out Car Lake. Um, and then too, depending on what they like, check out McGregor Hall. That's a nice spot, like a theater with performing arts. Check out McGregor Hall online. They have a lot of stuff going on over the summer. Huh? And right now we have a remodel going on with our YMCA. So that's going to be a nice attraction also for our community. We're building a bigger YMCA. Um, right now, Vance Charter School, they won the state champions for the 1A independent school. Vance Charter Knights, go Knights in basketball.
That's awesome.
And believe it or not, we still have a drive-in theater in Henderson, the Raleigh Road Outdoor Theater. I rode through there last night, and there was traffic on both sides of the road turning in there. I don't know what movie was playing, but they had a crowd out there. You know what outdoor theater is, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. But yeah, so I mean, Henderson has a lot to offer. We just need people to come and give us a shot. So if anybody, if you are a developer and you're looking to put some subdivision together or something like that, please check out Vance County. Feel free to give me a call and I can guide you in the right direction. Any kind of manufacturer companies, any biogen companies that are looking to expand to the region, come check us out in Vance County. We'd love to have you. Bring at least 500 jobs with you when you come, because our citizens need all the resources they can.
Absolutely. I guess my last question for you is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything we missed?
Um, I think we kind of covered a lot, James. Um, I'm just glad that you reached out to me and glad for the opportunity to be on. I hope to come back on before November and even after November.
No problem. I'll definitely consider you inviting you back before November for sure.
You consider inviting me back, right?
Of course.
Yeah, I got you. I appreciate you, James.
Alrighty, with that being said, that's going to be it for this episode of the Political Freedom Fighters podcast. If you all have enjoyed, please hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and hit the notification bell just in case you want to be notified on any new updates to the Political Freedom Fighters podcast. With that being said, I hope you all have enjoyed, and I'll see you all later.
Thank you, sir.